Once this rocket is out there, then I can, at that point, get a little bit more work done in the rocket silo. I'll only have a little bit of time to do it, but it'll be well worth it, I think. We'll need to tear down the engine section and extend the rocket out. One of the things that we'll be looking to do is to get a cargo bay. I could even expand it now if I've got the steel. I could shunt all of this down. I'm still probably going to have the rocket engine around here, though, to avoid us dumping heat out into the general area down here. In fact, I can probably sort that out right now. Construct you. We'll bring down insulation on this side, and I could just lift this floor up. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's lift this up and then put insulation through here and then up there. Because honestly, I don't want to have to deal with the fact that the piping is going to be shedding. Because this is all going to get hot because of the exhaust. So let's get some ceramic insulation around it at a high priority. And then hopefully we're not going to have to worry too much about that. Cancel some of this so I've got a bit more ceramic available to me. Saves us so long now. What does the rocket do for us? Well, it's one of the win conditions. One of them is simply build some a monument to basically show our mastery of the asteroid we're on. But the other one is to get a the other one is to get to a temporal tear. I'll show you on the star map. Like, we visited this asteroid with the ship that we're capable of. That's about it. This is the temporal tear. We would need a very good ship to get all the way out there. But that's the space race win. There's another hidden win condition. What's that, below? Sorry, I'm not asking you to tell me what the hidden condition is. Rather, build an even bigger monument to below. I don't know why I expected more from you. That's on me. At that point, I won't mind having all of this drawing in the heat from the bunker tiles. That'll be fine. I will have to pull down that bridge when the time comes, but that should work. Right, we've almost finished this loop now. We're going to be able to pull an awful lot of heat out of this room. Well, I hope. If not, kind of sucks, but... once again, what we'll do is we'll have the floor of this section about here. because the 1 to 4 tiles behind that it dumps the heat into will be safe then. So the flooring will be there, of just more bunker tile, I imagine. Something like this. Oh, actually, I'm going to have to tear down the background buildings, aren't I? I'll wait for them to finish all of this first. Aren't I going to want to bridge in the new path out of the tank? Bridge is already going to exist there. So I won't need to worry about that one. Honestly, I don't need this there. I could probably get rid of that one in its entirety. Insulating the tank, yeah, no, that's a fair point. What I could do is I could bring the tank in here along with the gas pump, so it's going to get a blast of heat. But what's its overheat temperature? 275. We can probably manage it. If I were to place the tank, for example, just underneath the exhaust area, it would certainly speed up a lot of things for me. I told you, Chad. Gotta watch out for the mods. They're far more bloodthirsty than me. That being said, the mods wouldn't have stuck 13 golden retriever puppies into the Jeff jail. Maya's dangerous with that sword in her back. What? Has Maya been backstabbed? Is that why Maya is ornery? Not gonna lie. I'd be pretty cranky if someone had lodged a sword in my back as well. Oh my. Could you just move base to the later asteroids and do little jumps instead of... Oh, no. You can't in this one. But the spaced out DLC does change it. Like, right now I'm playing on the base game just to finish off this map, which was started an extremely long time ago, and so I don't want to, like, abandon it. But the spaced out DLC goes away from this one big asteroid as your kind of main base and into lots of smaller asteroids that you actually visit and do stuff with, yeah. So, it is possible. Just not in this version of the game. I didn't stab you in the back with the mod sword, Belial. I stabbed you in the front. Why would I go for a backstab when a gut stab hurts more? And I mean that in more than just the physical sense. You'll die in a much more painful way from a gut wound, but from the betrayal sense, you know, it just doesn't have the same oomph. You know, Caesar's getting stabbed from every which way, but it was looking his best friend dead in the eyes as he got stabbed by his best friend. That was the real hit. I imagine Caesar would have survived the others. He would have just soldiered on. But Brutus, no. To see the shame and the guilt in his best friend's eyes, even as he was doing the deed. No, that's a different kind of pain. That's a spiritual pain. That wound never heals. Alright, okay. I need to do a thing. First and foremost, strip that down. Secondly, strip this down. Thirdly, actually, you know what? Break this down. We're gonna shut down the cooling loop for a moment. Can you reach that? You can't. Also, you can't reach this. There we go. We will now be shedding all of this. Aavak is a bit too familiar with how to turn portrayal into an art. Shh, it's fine. I'm just a fan of Greek tragedies, that's all. Casa has bemoaned that fact many times. Though I maintain that it's not a me thing and more a my culture thing. For reals. Maybe I'll just be singing some song in Welsh and just be like, oh, that sounds lovely. And what's it about? Love. Oh, tell me more about it. Then I'll describe in detail how the love was won, then lost, then betrayed, and all manner of things. Yeah, okay, I don't like the song anymore. It was lovely until I knew what it was about. It's like, it's still lovely to me. She has learnt not to ask me what the songs are about when she likes the sound of them. She just appreciates the melody. Generally easier to enjoy songs when you don't know what they mean, because you can inscribe onto them whatever meaning you want them to have. Yeah, that's true. Murder ballads are great. Well, I'm heading back to Vodland. I'm not even close to caught up with this playthrough. Enjoy, Aavak and chat. Take care, mate. Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true in anime as well. Like, some of the best Naruto theme songs reference some of the most tragic moments, in my opinion. By far and away the most tragic moments. And it isn't just that I've ascribed the meaning because I have the reference to what was going on in the anime at the time. No, those songs are wonderful, but there's a sad quality to them, and knowing what was going down in the anime just enhances the experience. But it is those songs are sad for their own reasons. Yep, I think everything is now in place. Just need this to be broken down. Then I'm going to settle that. I'm going to actually move everything in here up onto a 7, though. And everything over here up onto a 7, just so that it gets done. Everything over there onto a 7 as well. Let's get all of this done, please, and thank you. Now, I'm going to have to move the robo-miners. They're going to have to move down here. Right, now that we've done that, I can drain out what remains of the system. Go. And then all of this can go away. Right, cooling loop contained. Let's get all of that pulled out. We'll free up some steel as well. Out of curiosity, have you ever played any Kerbal Space Program? I have played a tiny amount of it. But chat has assured me that I would really enjoy it. So I may well check it out. Like, a more thorough playthrough, that is. I was especially sad to hear that there's some doubts on whether Kerbal 2 is gonna happen now. I'm not entirely certain on the whys and wherefores, but yeah, I'm actually really sad about that. Because if I'm honest, that was kind of what I was waiting on. I figured, oh, you know, I may as well get in on a brand new one. I will have a little bit of a diamond buffer there. A teensy tiny one. I have to pull all of this down now as well. So, this is now going to exist somewhere around here. Well, there, I'm thinking. Along with you, you can exist there. Which means that this can go across and then down straight away. Or... well, actually, I don't care if it's heating up on the way out. I mean, it's gas. It's not going to turn into anything else. In fact, why am I insulating the gas here? This whole area should be warmer than anywhere else. And if it's not warmer than anywhere else, it's because it's in vacuum, in which case there's no heat transference anyway. So these should be radiant pipes. Yet another... oh, okay. No, I'm good. I'm not using steel. That is a big old nope. We're almost there, chat. Bilal, you can see the rocket launch. It's going to be good. I hope. KSP2 looked amazing when the trailer launched. Why did all the devs bail from the studio developing it? I have no idea. No idea. Oh, the publisher destroyed the company developing it and ate the project. Oh, that's a shame. So... when you say they destroyed the company, obviously that's a bit of hyperbole, but what actually happened then? Also, since we don't get meteorite impacts anymore, I don't think there's a reason for us to have the robo-miners here at all. Or any of these, for that matter. Oh, such a shame. I went to such great lengths to build all this. It is so painful to know it's never going to get used properly. Like, it just doesn't do anything anymore. There's no point to it. And do you remember the publisher doing something shady with the studio? Oh, that's a shame. Oh, the publisher offered to buy the company, but the owner disagreed, so they pulled the license, hired away half the dev team, and left the company bankrupt. Oh. Take-Two was in talks to acquire Star Theory, but abruptly changed course, set up a new studio to develop KSP2, Intercept Games, and then poached a third of Star Theory's developers, including the creative director and the lead producer. Star Theory closed its doors 3 months later. That is tragic. That is absolutely tragic. Wow. Does not feel good, no. Anti-feel good. If we haven't got the robo-miners, then I don't strictly need these to be on separate circuits. But I kind of want to put the robo-miners in there, I'm not gonna lie. Just get all of this work done as fast as you can. We want to into space. Also, this really needs to be done because I still don't have a full cooling loop yet. Pleasant to Aavak live. Hello, Lieutenant Lupus. We don't know what went on behind closed doors. I'm not gonna, you know, the whole I won't touch anything from Take-Two. It's like, well, you know, that's absolutely fine. You know, teach companies that their behavior has ramifications beyond a single occurrence. But you know, what of other companies that might have them as a publisher? You know, that's kind of unfortunate for them then, if that means that they're never gonna, you know, I need to make sure that's built properly, that people won't look at their game because the publishers Take-Two. And you could say, well, you know, that's their fault for deciding to go with that publisher, but they might not have a choice. Might be the only way they can get their game made. It's, as with many things, it can be a lot more complicated. I wouldn't recommend making any very bold statements like that. I'm just going to run her across like this. Right. The scary thing is, if this gantry doesn't line up, I am going to be so frustrated. I really should have measured this out. Oh, I'm a derp. Let's hope. So, 1, 2... No! 3, though. That works. That does work. We can do... Okay. Okay. So. Not the best, but not the worst either. Why was I hunting ladders? I have no idea. I often have a fairly, I try to keep a fairly open mind with that kind of stuff. I'm part of that, part of the reason for that is absolutely to save my own sanity. Because the moment you start saying, okay, well, I won't support this person because they did this, or this company because they did that, You have to become so aware of everything else you do. You know, it's like, where do you draw the line? When is the line drawn? It's not as straightforward as you might wish it were. It's like people are like, oh, you know, I hate Nestle products. Do you know how hard it is to buy something that is in some way benefiting Nestle? Like, really, really bloody difficult. I admire anyone who does, though, and I, for my part, I actually go out of my way to try and avoid it. But it is shocking how eagle-eyed you need to be to avoid Nestle. And it's the same with anything. You know, I certainly respect people who have the conviction of their, you know, their morals, but once you start down that path, it starts to take over your life. I'm not gonna. No, actually, I am gonna. Once you start down the dark path, forever will it control your destiny. Yeah, exactly, Hi Kaiser. That's why I avoid things like, I will never do that. I try not to use the word never. Absolutes are incredibly, incredibly exhausting. That's why I say, you know, if you go out of your way to avoid it, well done. But, you know, maybe don't be as maybe don't be as absolute with it. With things like that. Don't say never. Don't say that sort of stuff, because it can easily just not happen that way. Let's get rid of all of these. I am also going to want all the piping gone. This whole mess is probably going to have to shunt down by a good couple of bits. I think you do hit it on the head there with Hi Kaiser, though. Do what you have the energy for. But again, for me personally, that does mean don't appreciate that you're not being as how should I put it? When someone expresses a very passionate opinion about well, let's use the direct example, a game studio being bad, then it can kind of create, whether intended or not, an expectation for those around them to adhere to the same level of boycotting, etc. Because if you don't, then, well, you're supporting them. I try not to use such absolute language because not everyone has the same time or energy as I do to avoid supporting them. And me sitting there being oh so virtuous about the things that I'm doing or not doing, or supporting or not supporting, the causes that I think are very important. It's not even a case that that other people might not agree with me. They just might not have the time or the energy to. To use a really good game example, okay? Here's a good one. Pam and Jody in Stardew Valley. They don't like the practices of Joja Mart, and they want to support Pierre, but they can afford to have better meals for their families if they shop at Joja Mart because the prices are that much lower. You know? Not everyone is in the wonderful position where they're making 10,000 gold per day because their farm is doing well. You know? Fight the battles that are important to you, but be mindful about making other people feel awful because they can't afford to fight those same battles, even if they agree. Don't put them in the position where they have to, you know, pick a side, that kind of stuff. Right. Time for us... Oh, actually, I've still got to wait for this to be done. But we're oh so close now, chat. Oh, so close. Let's get us a little bit of steam down there, please. Someone was entombed. It was a fake entombment. It's fine. Is everything hooked up? Yes, everything is hooked up. That has not been pulled down. Go ahead and take care of that. Also, apparently... Ugh, man, really? Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. You've got to be willing to live with that. Michael, you've got to be willing to live with that. If you put JojaMart out of business, you take away their ability to shop cheaply. Now with Pam, in order to take JojaMart out of business, you have to give Pam her job back. So at least as far as Pam's concerned, you've kind of you have taken away the cheapness of JojaMart, but you've also given her more money, so it's probably close enough to net zero. But Jodie, probably not. Now, one might be able to say, by year 2, Kent comes back. The assumption would be that Kent gets a job and they have more income, so things might be better. But if you can complete it in the first year, you're absolutely hurting Jodie and her family. You're helping Pierre and his family. You know, it's all... you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as the saying goes. You can't fix all of the world's problems. No one can. But it is, but it's certainly something to think about. About how your actions have a knock-on effect. Nothing happens in complete isolation. Totally just bring Jodie fish. Jodie loves fish. That's right. Yeah, every day. Only you can't do it every day. You can only give her 2 fish a week. Ah, damn it, Stardew Valley and your draconian gift-giving rules. What if I want to make sure that Jodie has fresh fish on the table every day? Okay. I think we are very much close to having everything ready. Okay, I need to tear down the diamond here. And also, I can't get to that stuff in the middle. And that annoys me. So when I tear this down, I will get across there and I will sort that out. Actually, no. I won't need it on that side. Right, so first and foremost, let's get a new rocket. Right about here. Pop. Okay. Pipes. Need those gone. Yoink. And then everything there. You know, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but I can tell you that the road to heaven isn't paved with bad intentions. The saying is more a warning of double-checking yourself, rather than saying good intentions equal bad. Oh no, I don't think the saying is trying to say that good intentions are bad. I'm fairly certain the saying is as you say, is only ever meant you can do what appears to be the right thing, and end up, in the grand scheme of things, making things worse. I don't think it's trying to say that every good intention is inherently bad. I think you'd have to be pretty obtuse to take that meaning out of it. So I think you're safe there. Don't worry. So the answer is to give Jodie a fishing rod. Ah, now we're getting there, Kaiser. Marvelous. I approve. I approve of this greatly. I wouldn't even necessarily say it was a slippery slope argument, if I'm perfectly honest. Oh. Well. I suppose it is a lot of freshly applied stuff here that is cold. That wasn't my intention, though, I'm going to be honest. But okay. Now that we've done that, I need to tear everything else down. This simple job has turned into anything but. I do apologize, Bilal. I'm doing my best, but it appears that my best is adding more work. Once again, with the good intentions thing. You'd be surprised. People think the whole feed a man a fish thing is wrong because teaching a man to fish is easier when he's not hungry. The saying isn't about the absolute of feeding the man versus teaching the man. It's about the long term of charity handouts versus embetterment of growth. I see where you're coming from. I would say that you're probably that opinion is shared by people like Sir David Attenborough, for example, who feels very strongly on the topic. Actually, he has some very, very strong views on that. The rights and wrongs of those views, you know, that's for much smarter people than me to comment on, but let's not allow this to get so bad that we can't mop up. That being said, I suppose it wouldn't matter if there's water on the ground, because the first time the actual steam engine kicks in, it's going to blast it all into steam anyway. Aavak, don't be sorry. Be better. Damn it, Belial! I will try. Wow, hi Kaiser. I don't even what wow. I'm not even going to repeat that so that it ends up in the VOD, but wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but wow. Aavak, do the duplicants not sleep? They seem to be up at all hours. Haha, I will show you my secret. I have the default schedule, which is literally just there. And oh, actually, the alarm should be on for that. Well, actually, no. I don't think the alarm kicks in if there's anyone on there. It just always kicks in. So that wouldn't be as useful. But that's the default schedule. At least someone's got a schedule if they end up in it. But I have 3 schedules with spread out times. One for dawn watch. So those who want to be up in the early bird hours. One for day watch. They're kind of active across the whole day. And then one for dusk watch. They're active towards the end of the day. So this is for anyone who has a nighttime preference. This one's for anyone with a morning preference. This one's for general peeps. So no, there's no period of time where there isn't someone up doing work. This is also a technique I use in my RimWorld playthroughs. For the same reason. I accept that my duplicants need sleep. Especially of late. I too have been afflicted with this curse. It has been greatly inconvenient, and I can only imagine that the duplicants are having vaccine shots for a wide array of malodious issues, especially considering how much natural gas is around here that didn't come from a natural gas vent. Still, just because they're pretending to be dead for a little bit of the day doesn't mean that they all need to stop doing any work altogether. Oh yeah, you can absolutely get duplicants that like to be awake at the night. How big is the base? Reasonably large. Again, this is basically my first real playthrough of the game, so it's not well built, like, at all. But, you know, it is what it is. I like it, if nothing else. And that's all that matters. How's the frozen core going? Part of it is still frozen. This is a great success. Let's see our cooling loop. 42 degrees in, 33 out. Not great. But it is running through 2 separate aqua tuners later on, so it's not awful. The save is so long. So by the time it gets here, 33. By the time it leaves, 5. That's good enough for me. Good enough for me for now. We should be controlling the temperature reasonably well. This little area is managing. Ooh, what temperatures are coming out of here? 7.4. Going back up here at 8. So yes. This little spot is keeping our reed farm going. Okay, that's good. Green signal if below 30. Basically, this only kicks in if this gets too hot, and then it dumps a bunch of cold, polluted water into it. The base should be doing okay. Yeah, the base is pretty chilly. Ah, perfect. The duplicants must be loving this. None of that pesky heat to deal with. Wonderful, duplicants. Don't you worry. I'm taking care of your needs, just as I would want my needs taken care of. No heat. Ever. If I can't wake up in the morning and run my toes through the plush carpet and be reminded of the feeling of snow between my toes, then it's frankly too hot in my room. Every 3 hours, Bilal. Every 3 hours of recording, so in 3/4 of an hour, basically. Well, Aavak is taking care of the duplicants' needs just as he took care of Bilal's needs. Bilal never had any needs again. You know what? Again, this is an opportunity for us to talk about the dangers of not being specific about your requests. I mean, there's all kinds of stories, many of them including Jinn, to this effect. But just remember, when you have an AI and you tell it what to do, be very careful in how you word the request. There is an ocean of difference between stop humans being sad and make humans happy. An ocean of difference. One of them requires that the AI do something that the humans are capable of perceiving and feeling a sense of joy from. The other one can easily be resolved by the humans not being alive anymore, because you can't feel sad if you're dead. Super important. Two things that sound like they're the same thing, but they are not. Man, it was so fun, though, in my degree, doing those thought exercises. Oh, I had the most fun doing that stuff, actually. Well, aside from the actual training neural nets and the more practical work, but definitely in terms of like the written stuff, I really enjoyed those ones. Yeah, no, exactly. Stop all wars can easily be resolved with a really big war. The war to end all wars. Once again, you can't go to war if you're dead. But Aavak, I think those nuances work on actual human creatures as well. While not explicitly, implicitly humans interpret quite similarly to... Well, no, let me start again. Our subconscious does. Specifically, yes. Our subconscious is very literal. It's ultra literal, actually. Our subconscious does not accept that nuance is a thing.